Tarot by Hilary live. I am your hostess with the mostest, Hilary of tarotbyhilary.com, professional tarot reader, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friend, do not argue with me. You have intuition. I believe everybody has intuition. So I know it's been a while since I've seen you all for the Friday night episodes. Pretty much the entire month of November, I wasn't feeling it. Things came up, stuff was going on, and yeah, basically this episode, like we do the first of every month, is a scheduling episode to find out the topics that you want to learn about so that we can schedule them for the rest of the month. And basically, it's kind of an episode where I'm telling you what the schedule is going to be, because we have a bunch of topics that I was going to teach in November that I ended up not teaching in November. So we're going to take those topics and shift them over to December's calendar. And also, we have another Sabbath series episode coming up, which is the Sabbath of Yule that's coming up, aka the winter solstice. So that Sabbath series episode is coming up as well. So welcome to the episode. It's very, very nice to see you guys again in our Friday nights groove. I'm just realizing that I didn't plug in my power cord for my laptop, so hopefully we'll be good. I don't expect it to be a very long episode, considering I pretty much have an idea of, you know, all the things that I was going to teach in November. I'm going to shift over to December, and we're going to talk a little bit about each topic and when they're going to get slotted in. And I think it's only going to be a 3-topic month because of where Christmas Eve and Christmas Day falls in the weekly calendar. So I think I'm probably going to take that Friday off and not do a new episode then. So it's the beginning of the episode. I would really love if you're watching, wherever you're watching from, got a couple of different options where to tune in for. Tell me that you're watching. Say hi in the chats. Give a little comment and say where you're watching from. I really enjoy hearing where people live, where they're tuning in from. I think the last time I broadcast, we had people from Australia. We had people from Scotland as well tuning in. So kudos to some of you because of time zone stuff. I know for Scotland, that's at least a 5-hour time difference. So that might have been a couple of night owls watching. And I know that in Australia, the future is now. So say hello. And I'm going to, while you're doing that, I'm going to get out my planner so that we've got our dates to talk about when these topics are going to be scheduled. And also, we're going to start off the episode with some astrology as well from the wonderful AstroBiz Digest from Teresa Reed, aka the Tarot Lady. And I'm also going to double check to make sure everything is posting correctly, because I am using my Be Live app, and sometimes I just never know. Never know if all of the channels are working correctly. So let me go ahead and do that first and foremost, so that I'm not talking into the ether. I have a feeling it's working. Yep. I see my face. Let me go ahead and hear myself. Yep. YouTube seems to be working, so that's awesome. And I was indulging in looking at some of the Nikki Tutorials YouTube videos for like Lady Gaga, and then most recently Adele got her makeup done, and it was just the funniest thing ever, because she said she looks like Voldemort with her very blonde eyebrows if she doesn't get them dyed. It was hilarious. It was enjoyable. Okay, so YouTube's working correctly. And looks like Facebook is working. I'm just going to double check. Yep, sounds like everything is working. Yay. Okay, good. Nice. Let me shift over, and instead of having that in a different tab, I'm going to pull up the Astrology from Teresa Mead and have a sip of my High Noon vodka and soda black cherry flavor. I don't know if you guys have tried this. If you happen to drink alcohol, they're all right. They're called High Noon, and they're vodka and soda on only 100 calories, gluten-free, no added sugar. They seem to be palatable. And I'm wrecking my lipstick when I do that. Okay. Oh, and just to let y'all know, Be Live keeps on rolling out these different features. So I just found out that Be Live now has virtual backgrounds. So no green screen backdrop required. So this is just a blur on my regular background. Like, this is in fact really here. This is my lamp. But I can choose from different backgrounds. So I might make myself a cute like background in Canva and put it up. Actually, let me see if that's in there. Maybe I can search for one. Let me look. No, that's not what I want. That might work though. I'm gonna have to experiment with that and get back to y'all. I get very distracted. Let's try a simple one. Oh, this might work. This looks very cute, and I can just quickly personalize it. All right, I'm gonna have to do this. That is not what I meant to do at all. Okay, that's really cute. All right, I'm going to download this quickly and try and put it up live here on the broadcast. And then we'll do the astrology. All right, where's my AstroBiz digest? While that's downloading. And Katie is here. Hello, Katie. Welcome to the broadcast. Hi. So nice to see you. All right, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay. Please work. Please work. It worked. It worked. It's kind of cute. Even though, it's cutting off my hair a little bit. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I don't know if it's like gonna interrupt things though if I try to hold stuff up. Like if I do the weekend forecast and I'm holding up a tarot card, I don't know if it's going to see, that's the problem. Doesn't want to hold up, doesn't want to show the tarot card if I try. Though it is a good way to block out my face. Interesting. All right. Well, while we're here talking, and while I'm doing the astrology from the AstroBiz Digest, we can keep it up and see how it goes. Okay. Let us. Oh, that's interesting too. It shifts everything over. Cool. Okay, I'll take it. So before we get into the astrology from Teresa Reed's wonderful AstroBiz Digest, I want to tell you a little bit about that. If you're a first-time viewer, first-time watcher of these episodes, I structure my episodes in the same way pretty much every week. We start off with the astrology, then I teach the topic at hand, and then we end with a weekend forecast, which is either a tarot card or an oracle card to bring you into the weekend and kind of know and assess the energies so that you are prepared, not scared. Katie's saying the background needs to be the color you aren't. I always find them a mixed bag. Yeah, I mean, we can experiment. I'll see. I think probably possibly a darker background might work, or a bright, like a hot pink background might work. But yes, I'm definitely willing to experiment. So the astrology that I'm going to cite is from Teresa Reed's AstroBiz Digest. It is a $99 subscription, and that's for the year, and you get astrology straight to your inbox in layman's terms, so that you don't have to understand astrology in order to benefit from it. It is geared towards entrepreneurs, but I have found it to be incredibly helpful in my own personal life and personal planning as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share the link there, and I've already shared the link into the chats. If you are watching on my personal page, you might not be able to see the link in the chat just because of third-party app issues. Some of the streams I'm not going to be able to put comments into. So just forewarning you about that. So the astro-weather from Teresa Reed for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because I always want to give you a taste of it. I don't want to give you the whole thing, because then that's taking away from the work that Teresa Reed is trying to do and benefit from. So just Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So let us get into it. So a couple of things that we've got going on this week. We've got Neptune stationing direct on the 1st. That already happened. Neptune direct allows intuition and imagination to flow unimpeded. For business, we can connect directly with our muses and guides and trust your guides and see where they lead you next. We also have, for some of you, it will be today. And for some of you, it will be tomorrow, depending on your time zone. So all of the times that I'm going to give you are in Eastern Standard Time. And I will preface when that is not the case. So we have a new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius in the 12th degree on the 4th or the 3rd for Pacific Standard Time. And that threatens to crash the party with a massive reality check. Eclipses signal a change. And with this one being the last in the Gemini Sagittarius axis, truth matters. Think about how you're expressing yourself in your business and even in your life. Are you honest with your community? Have you been hiding behind a facade? Authenticity is needed, and nothing else will do. If you've been fudging anything, this is the best time to come clean and change course. If you want to set intentions, focus on truth, publishing, travel, and higher learning. So those are the two big things happening in the cosmos this week. So let us get now into the nitty-gritty of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday's astrology. So today, Friday, the moon enters Sagittarius at 7:13 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So happy birthday to my Sagittarian friends. And now it's time to share your message, publish your work, or hit the road. But we're on the cusp of a solar eclipse, as I mentioned before, which occurs at 2:43 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning. So if you're in the Pacific Standard Time zone, you'll get it tonight. Use the morning for your PR or travels. So we're back into Friday. Then keep a light schedule for the rest of the day if you can. Sleep in tomorrow if you can. Also, we've already covered the info about the solar eclipse. Today, Friday, December 3rd, is a power day for Sagittarius and a weekday for Gemini. And keep in mind that power days are your best days of the month, and weekdays are when the universe is not your BFF, and that's week, W-E-A-K. So that's Friday. Everyone good so far with Friday? All right, Saturday. The solar eclipse happens at 2:43 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. Already talked about the nitty-gritty of the solar eclipse. So if you're tuning in late, you can always wait to watch the replay, and that way you can rewind or pause as much as you need to. Replays are always available once we're done with the live broadcast, of course. A Moon-Mercury conjunction at 7:43 a.m. could bring important news. A change is on the way. Also, if you feel like sharing something with your audience at that time, go ahead. A Moon-Neptune square at 3:22 p.m. creates a foggy, deceptive vibe. If you can't get your head on straight, blame that. In my opinion, it's best to keep your workload as light as possible on Saturday. Now, for Sunday, Sunday finds the moon in Capricorn at 6:31 a.m., the CEO moon. This day is marvelous for meetings, big decisions, and boss moves. Now that the eclipse is over, you can see what your next step should be. Shut everything down at 8:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when the moon squares Chiron. The walking wounded and energy vamps are out in droves, and you certainly don't want to be around for that. Saturday is a power day for Sagittarius and a weekday for Gemini, and Sunday is a power day for Capricorn and a weekday for Cancer. Okay, so now that we have covered the astrology for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I do want to open up the floor for anyone that's tuning in live. If you happen to have like a weird day on Monday, or Wednesday was kind of odd, or a little bit aggressive, or Thursday was strange, go ahead and drop it in the chat and let me know which day you were experiencing some stuff and what you were experiencing. And I will take a look at the AstroBiz Digest and see what Teresa's astrology was for those days. Not so that you can blame astrology for it, but more so that you can understand how astrology works in your personal life or in your everyday life. So I'm going to give that a minute before we move on to scheduling episodes for this month. So let me pull up my widget, see if my countdown widgets are still working. Looks like they are. Looks like it is. All right, we have a taker. Katie says, Thursday, Wednesday night plus Thursday morning was horrible. Okay, so let's look at Wednesday night and Thursday morning then. Monday, Tuesday. For a second there, I thought Wednesday wasn't even in here. I'm like, did she not send the stuff for Wednesday? Yeah, so it was Neptune. So Neptune turned direct at 8:22 a.m. and allowed for dreaming again. It's nice to fantasize about what's possible. So it was not Neptune turning direct, but it does say here for Wednesday, the evening turns dicey when the moon squares Saturn, 9:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Suddenly, everyone is stubborn, no one wants to buy, and compromise is null and void. So basically, Teresa recommended to call it a night, grab a hot cocoa, and begin making your holiday cards. So yeah, 9:43 p.m. Moon squaring Saturn, stubbornness, no compromise. Okay. Then Thursday morning was clear. And then more emphasis on PR and intuition and business instincts. So I think that's really what got you, Katie, on Wednesday night was the square. All right, sounds about right. Saturn, the horrible beast. I mean, there's a lot of people that hate Saturn, and then there's a lot of people that have a love-hate with Saturn. And really, I always recommend to people to look at their natal charts, and you can usually honestly get a free natal chart report on a bunch of different websites. I usually recommend either cafeastrology.com does a good free one, or astro.com. I think used to do a good free one. I don't know if they do it anymore. So I think I'm more apt to recommend Cafe Astrology, because not only does it give you the natal report, it also explains some things too. It's not just like, here it is, figure it out. Like, no, they give you a little bit more than that. So you're not like, what the hell does that mean? But for people that have strong Saturn placements, or checking where they're, like, honestly, I would recommend seeing where your Saturn is placed if you have Saturn in your chart, and see if that might help to clarify your relationship with Saturn and any transits in which Saturn is involved, to maybe understand it a little bit better, not have such a cantankerous relationship to it. Because I mean, for birth cards, I'm the Death Emperor birth cards. So I really do have that love-hate kind of relationship with Saturn, where it's just like, it's a fixed thing. Like Saturn rules time constructs and basically anything. It's a container, basically. And it also is like kind of the death and taxes kind of planet or planetary influence. So it can be very hard to work with. I would also really, really recommend the Little Book of Saturn. And I'm gonna find a link to that. Hold on one second. I can't say enough good things about the book. The Little Book of Saturn, where it tells you if Saturn is in X house for you in your natal chart, this is what it means. And if Saturn is in this sign for you, this is what it means. So the combination of the house and the sign that your Saturn is in can tell you so much about how you relate to it. And then also how your Saturn returns might manifest. Like what are the things that you're dealing with when you have a Saturn return, which typically happens, if you're lucky, 3 times in your life. If you're not so lucky, twice, at least twice. So, or sometimes maybe even once, but you should have at least 2 Saturn returns in your lifetime. So, Little Book of Saturn. So good. Actually, I did a review. Did I do a review of that? I did. I'm gonna link to the review that I did of it, because I think that might be a little bit stronger of a recommendation. Yes, I did. I did a review of it. So here it is. Little Book of Saturn, Astrological Gifts challenges, and returns. It came out June of 2018 from Wiser Books, and it's by Eliza Einhorn. So I am going to link to that review. Check it out. You don't have to have that reaction necessarily. Saturn, the horrible beast. It doesn't have to be that way. So I'm going to just show that here. So this is the link to my website. Again, tarotbyhilary.com if you would like to book a reading. And this is the review that I did of the Little Book of Saturn. Can't tell you how much I enjoyed it. Maybe I'm a little bit biased about it only because I read the book cover to cover, and I looked up my my sign, like what my sign meant, and the house. So like really quickly, my Saturn is in the 8th house, and my Saturn is in Libra. So one of the things that Eliza says for Saturn in the 8th house, the ideal job for Saturn in the 8th house is the detector of secrets and discoverer of the hidden. Think psychologist, think psychic, medium, talking to the dead. And here's me, a professional tarot reader with Saturn in the 8th house. It just made me laugh so hard. Other excerpts from that section: you maybe become a talented psychic or medium or ghost hunter. And now I understand why, from reading that book, that people that had an astrology background were looking over my natal chart and nodding their heads. That like, oh yeah, it makes total sense that you're a professional tarot reader. I'm just like, but how? But what? Like, I don't see it. Now I understand why. All right. Any other questions about the astrology of the week before we get into the main crux of the episode, which is scheduling the episodes for this month, which is basically taking the dates from last month and putting them into this month. Let me move my card of the day today from the Tarot for Kids deck, which is lovely so far. It's only the second day that I've been using it, and it's awesome so far. Man, I wish I had this tarot deck when I was a kid. But no, it just came out. And I've got my relative tarot over here as well. So I've got my passion planner. I've got my stickers. We are ready to go. I barely touched my passion planner last week, but I stuck in a couple of stickers, and one of the stickers that I put in was note to self from the Out of This World Space sticker book, which is super, super cute. I might have to take down this background because it is really distracting, and I'm not going to be able to show things on screen if I want to. So it's cute. It's a good option. It's a good option. I will keep that in mind for future episodes. I don't even know if I want to blur the background. If I blur the background, does it blur the... Yeah, it blurs it. Forget it. No blur. No blur. Just me. Just my regular background. So last week, I put in these two stickers in the space of infinite possibility. So I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to try and move. Can you see that? So one of them, it says, it's just a phase, and it had the little moon phases on it. And then this one is note to self. And I wrote in, have gratitude for everything. So yeah, it was a relatively quiet week last week, and it wasn't actually really quiet. It was just I didn't put anything into my physical planner. It's not to say I didn't have tons of plans, I just didn't put it in my physical planner. This week is looking pretty sparse too. I have already gotten ahead of myself. I already scheduled the Yule episode for when I wanted to schedule it. So, oh no. All right, no, it's only going to be a 2-episode month this month. And here's the reason why. So today, Friday, the 6th, the 3rd, I'm talking about episodes, scheduling episodes for the month. Next week, we've got Friday the 10th, which is a blank space for one of the episodes that I haven't done yet from November. The 17th, so Friday, December 17th, we're going to be talking about Yule because that's the Friday closest to where Yule falls. And I always want to do the Sabbath series before the actual Sabbath so that you can take any notes that you need to from that episode and bring them into your celebrations for the next Sabbath. And then the next Friday after that is Friday the 24th, which is Christmas Eve. So pretty sure you guys are not going to be hanging around wanting to hang out with me online on Christmas Eve. And then the Friday after that is New Year's Eve. So we've got a lot of big stuff for this month and for the end of the year. So yeah, it's only going to be a 2-episode month this month. Now, could I have probably slotted in an episode tonight? Yeah, I could have, but I always like to do this kind of first Friday of the month, scheduling them with you. Because, I don't know, I just like to do it. So, all right. So, it is now time for the audience participation portion of the episode. So, we definitely have Yule on Friday, December 17th, which will be the next episode as part of the Sabbath series of episodes that y'all have been requested by popular demand. And also it slots in so perfectly with my votary work for year 2, aka my priestess in training work. Just very serendipitous. And guys, there have been so many weird synchronicities and coincidences going on with my priestess work. Like, I'll tell you guys later when it all shakes out, because it's like kind of this, I don't know, this magical incubation period where I kind of don't want to jinx things. Like, things are not quite solidified yet, so I don't want to say anything yet before I got it locked down. So, but I'll tell you. I'll tell you when the time is right to tell you, I will tell you. But literally yesterday, I had a moment where the synchronicity was so extreme that I just doubled over laughing and holding my sides, laughing at how crazy small the world is and how things can just magically happen and be so in sync and so serendipitous with me not forcing things. Like, that's one of my big lessons. Is like, stop forcing shit. Stop it. Just stop forcing shit. Stop trying to push things into containers that might not work. Just let it go. Give it over. See what happens. Not in a lazy way, but just like, give it over because you can't control it. Like, Hilary, stop trying to control everything. I got a lot of lessons in that this week. So, Katie is saying, yay, Yule. Yes, very exciting about Yule. We already are gearing up for my coven's Yule ritual. More about that when we get into the Yule episode, but we're talking about the holly and the oak. We're talking about the Winter Queen. We're talking about the coming of the light and the child of promise, because the winter solstice is the longest night of the year, but that means that the light is now returning. So, we're not going to be looking out our windows and 4:30 it's sunset. The light's coming back, everybody. The light's coming back. So, Very cool stuff. So let me bookmark. What did I just drop? I think I might have just dropped something. Oh, well, I'll clean it up later. So using my finger as a placeholder. Aha, got it. So yeah, I shuffled things around and then nothing happened. No episodes whatsoever, except for the scheduling episode that it didn't end up happening. None of those episodes ended up happening. So we do have Hecate that we need to schedule as part of a goddess series. And I know people requested about a dark goddess series, but I'm just going to call it a goddess series because it's my show and I do what I want. And I can't just, this is another thing that I was talking with people about last week or this past week, where, just because people ask for it doesn't necessarily mean that I need to cater everything towards what people are asking for, because sometimes people need other things rather than just what they're asking for. You can't cater to everybody. You just can't do it. So, first of all, I love that people are asking about Hecate because, my journey, and I'll probably talk about this during that episode, is that I had this whole moment of self-doubt where it's just like, well, no one would want me. No god or goddess would want me to be their dedicant. And I found out very quickly that that was not the case, and that Bridget and Hecate argued over me for a very long time, or I argued myself into a frenzy trying to choose between them. And eventually Bridget won out. But that wasn't to say that I would never work with Hecate. In fact, I work very well with Hecate. So I'll have to tell you a little bit about little different signs, synchronicities that was happening when I was having that pull between the two of them. And when Bridget finally won out and basically made it very clear, it's just like, no, you're mine. You can, basically she said, you can borrow her, but she's ultimately mine. And if that sounds familiar to you, and if you've worked with deities before, good. You're not crazy. So yes, Hecate, yes, please. They are all goddesses. So yeah, I think I'm going to do a goddess series, not necessarily a dark goddess series, because there's so much misconception there as well about dark and light. It's just like you kind of need both. You need the dark, you need the light, you need the gray area, because it's not all light. It's just not. So, all right. So we're going to be doing the Hecate episode. Maybe this month. We've got a lot. We've got a lot to cover here. Yeah, no, let's do it. Let's do it this month. Because I know you're jonesing for it. And we're going to move the gratitude stuff and the abundance stuff to January, because I think with January, with New Year's Eve, with resolutions, with the new year, it's a really, really great time to be talking about abundance, to be talking about prosperity, and also, looking at your resolutions, not necessarily as resolutions that you have to fear or feel stifled by or feel punished by, because that's another thing that I've been realizing lately. You can't punish yourself into doing something. And in fact, if you try punishing yourself into doing something, it's probably not going to work. So I've been trying in the last couple of years to really shift my attitude around resolutions. And I don't really make New Year's Eve resolutions anymore, but I will tell you what I do in the month of January. So we'll talk about that. We will talk about that Where's January? Do we have a thing for January? Oh, I have to use another date book for that. My other date book is all the way over here, but I don't know the exact date that it's going to be for the first Friday in January. But the first Friday in January, we'll talk about scheduling episodes. They will probably be around manifestations, prosperity, abundance, and setting affirmations so that, we can really kick off the new year in style. So, but, at any time of the year, you can do prosperity magic. At any time of the year, you can make resolutions. So it doesn't have to be, January 1st. So I'm going to grab my pencil and we are going to do next week. We are going to be talking about Hecate because we can't keep putting her off because I just got a little tap from her. She was like, no, you're not waiting until January to talk about me. Now. Otherwise, we'll be waiting until February, and then you're going to be talking about Bridget and in bulk. So, no, now. So, Hecate has spoken, and she says next week. So, Friday, December 10th, we're going to be talking about Hecate. And Friday, December 17th, we will be talking about Yule as part of the Sabbath series. And for the 24th, which is Christmas Eve, and for the 31st, which is New Year's Eve, there will be no show. Do you want me to repeat those dates? And I will put up my my little thing like this to show when the dates will be this weekend. I promise I'll do it this time around. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and say it again, but I'll show mine. So, today is the scheduling episode. Next week, we've got Hecate. And the week after that, we've got Yule as part of the Sabbath series. And then on Christmas Eve and on New Year's Eve, no show for those two. And I'm going to put my placeholder there. And we're done with the episode. But don't go anywhere yet because we still have to do the weekend forecast. Actually, I know exactly what I want to do for the weekend forecast because I've been rocking this deck again and I realized how much I love it. And we also did I also quickly put up the card of the day today, which is the 7 of Cups, is the card of the day from the Tarot for Kids deck, written by Teresa Reed and illustrated by Kaylee Whitman. It is so freaking cute, guys. And so you can see the size. Nice big size. Really pretty back. Not necessarily going to do a unboxing right now, but maybe I'll do an unboxing. I don't know. Do you guys want me to do like unboxings for different decks? Like let me know. You can always DM me over Facebook Messenger or email me if you want unboxing videos. I'd be happy to do them if I actually have the deck. So Katie says, perfect. So looking forward to them. Awesome. Great. Yes. And I appreciate you showing up every week. I appreciate everyone showing up every week. It's just stunning to me that I've been doing these episodes for over 2 years now. I think I started these 2 years ago in August. So it's over 2 years now. And we never did a 2-year anniversary episode, I don't think, because I just don't think we did. We just keep on rocking with different topics, right? But yeah, Tarot for Kids is really, really cute. So cute. So here's the box. And here's the sides and the back. And it's actually, and the guidebook as well. I love that the box cover art is the Three of Cups. Super, super cute. And here's the guidebook as well. And the guidebook is really, really helpful. Because it's like, here's the card. There's a little phrase, meaning, reverse meaning, and a question for all 78 cards. And not all of the cards are like, so it's the Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess is renamed to the Moon Queen, the Empress, the Emperor, the Hierophant is renamed to the Rules, the Lovers is renamed to the Best Friends, the Chariot is still the Chariot, Hermit, Wheel, the Wheel of Fortune is the Wheel, Justice, I think Patience. Hold on, let me do my. Yeah, good, great. For a second there, I was just like, what's Patience? And then I realized there is a footnote for the name changes in the guidebook so that you don't have to guess. All right, Hilary, I'm not tired at all. So Patience, the Hanged Man is renamed to Patience in this deck. The Death card is renamed to Change. The Temperance card is renamed to Balance. The Devil card is renamed to the Bully. Tower, still the Tower, Star, Star, Moon, Moon, Sun, Judgments, and the World. So there's a couple of renaming there, and you know that I can definitely see the reason why for some of the cards, because I mean some of the cards have that connotation. Oh my god, am I shedding? So my hair is shedding. You know, I've got lip gloss in my hair. You know, some of the concepts in a traditional tarot deck are a little bit strong, and sometimes they're called the big bads of the tarot, and sometimes these are the very same cards that if you happen to read for children, or if you're happen to be reading at event or for underage people, you might want to take those cards out. And I know that's a very controversial statement and possibly an unpopular opinion, but sometimes, you know, like, listen, the tarot is going to give you the message that you need to hear anyway, even if you take out a couple of cards. And I think we talk about that on the Card Slingers Coast to Coast episode. I don't know if it's a episode that we've released yet, though. It could have been that we haven't released it yet. I don't know. My memory is really foggy of what the episodes that we've already published and made public versus the episodes that we recorded months or even a year ago and we haven't released yet. So, but sometimes when you take out those cards, you still get the message that you need to get. Your client still gets the message that they need to get. So I know it's an unpopular opinion, but you can totally do that. Or you can get a deck like Tarot for Kids that is meant to be read for kids, but it's also a beautiful deck for the kid at heart too. It's ages 8 and up. So even, you know, I don't really think it's appropriate to read for like a 5-year-old, for example. But yeah, you know, like but this is not even a matter of like it just being for kids. I mean, I would probably take this deck and bring it to like a bridal shower or a baby shower even, because, you know, the imagery is a little bit more palatable for people. It might not have that same punch, but also when you're doing event readings, you don't have the time to go in depth with your clients. You often have a very short amount of time to give a reading. So event readings and party readings can be very different than, you know, the going down deep with a one-on-one reading. And, you know, there's a time and a place. There's a time and a place for those type of readings. So Yeah, death could be scary for a child. So I think instead of death, it's change, which I love because that's often something that I have to explain a lot to adult clients. That it's just like, no, it doesn't necessarily mean physical death. It can. I mean, but even in the guidebook here for change, it changes on the way. Nothing lasts forever. Things are always changing. Something is coming to an end to make way for a new beginning. It's like oftentimes death can mean change, transformation, evolution sometimes too. So, yeah. Anyway, that was a quasi unboxing ish, a little introduction to tarot for kids. All right, so are we ready for the weekend forecast before we wrap up? I'm just going to go with it. So let me pull up this and let me pull up my crawler for the weekend forecast and do a little theme song. It's the weekend forecast. It's the weekend forecast. All right. So what I was saying before is I'm very into this deck lately. I mean, Tarot for Kids is awesome. I've just started working with it. So I'm into that too. But the deck that I'm really, really into right now is a deck that I've worked with before. And it was a Kickstarter campaign. I don't necessarily know if it's available now to order. And hopefully it is. I'm not going to go look it up. If you want to, you can look it up. But I actually did an email reading for a client this week, and I just felt intuitively drawn to use this particular deck for their reading. And I just love that experience where there's so many wonderful tarot decks. And yes, usually the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith is my go-to tarot deck for most client readings. It's just my standard. I know it. It's easy for me. It's not like pulling teeth. I don't have to wonder what the card means just because it's like a different artistic interpretation. It's just usually, that's the reason why it's my go-to. It's probably the reason why it's one of the most popular decks in the world and cloned the most often. Like most different tarot decks with different themes, they base the structure on a Rider-Waite-Smith. It's not a pips only deck. Everything has a story to it. There's a pictorial story on every single card, all 78 cards, right? So the thing that I love though is when I feel intuitively guided to use a specific deck with a client, whether it's an in-person client, phone client, Skype client, or for an email reading. I'm guided to the deck, and then the cards that come up are the cards that are depicted a little bit differently than the typical Rider-Waite-Smith deck or what you would find on a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, but those specific images that would normally not appear if I had used the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith are the very things that are the most meaningful for the client, the most profound for the client. It's just like, and it happens every single time, and I love it. And so this is the reason why I trust my intuition when I am being guided to use a different deck with somebody. There is usually an image that my eye is drawn to, or my client's eye is drawn to, that speaks to them very personally about that particular topic that they asked about. And so I had that kind of moment with this deck, and I realized how much I love this deck and the reason why I love this deck. So this is the deck that we're going to be pulling from for the weekend forecast, one card. And it is the Wild Messengers Alchemical Tarot by Lola Pickett with Cosmic Animal Art by Tanya Castile. So this is the box, and I'm going to zhuzh it around a little bit for you so you see how beautiful it is. Yes, there is that iridescence to it. Gorgeous. This was a Kickstarter that I backed. going to pull it out here. I'm going to show you the backs. There we go. And that's just not the pattern. It also is raised as well, so it feels like a snake skin on the back of these cards. You know what I would love? I think I would like this deck even better if they had iridescent sides, but they don't. Katie is saying, love the horns on the W of the wild. Yes. Yeah. Very, very cool, right? So you'll see when we pull the card what the cosmic animal art looks like. But this is not a gimmick. This is not a gimmicky kind of deck. In some ways, there are some decks that come out on the market and you know it's a gimmick and you know it's kitschy and a cliche or a themed deck, right? And because of the theme, it's almost like the theme gets in the way of the tarot or what the message is trying to say. And sometimes especially for animal decks, if you're trying to make an animal deck and you're trying to ascribe it to a tarot card's energy, it can become very difficult. And I've seen decks, and I'm not going to name names for decks that do this and fail, but sometimes the animal that they choose doesn't match with the energy of that particular tarot card that they match it with. It just doesn't work. Now, here's the reason why I say this. The reason why I say this is that this deck is one of the most fabulous decks that has an energetic match to the energy of the card, all 78 cards, and the animal it's associated with. And it has an in-depth information in the guidebook. So here's the guidebook. And there's also, I got a digital copy of it as well, but I wanted the print copy. So gorgeous, bound, bookmark built in. I'm going to make it shine, this little light of mine. Gorgeous. Okay. And so the back says, Earth and its creatures are speaking. Are you listening? So you can see like a little teaser of what the cards look like. But in the guidebook, this is a hefty guidebook, guys. You have, for the major arcana cards, at least 3 full pages of information for interpretations and messages, as well as why this animal. And all of them, and the minor arcanas have at least 2 pages, full pages of explanation. And it's just, the way it's structured is it has an invocation, it has the association. So, like, for example, 7 of air would be 7 of swords, but it's the elements that are used here. And then the interpretation, and then that animal speaking as well. So, like, let me give an example of elephant, which is for the 7 of air. So you've got the invocation, you've got the interpretation basically, and why, and then you've got the elephant speaking. So, all right, enough talking about this deck. It's an awesome deck. Highly recommend it. I hope it's still in print. Again, I got this on the Kickstarter quite a few years ago now. But check and see. It's called Wild Messengers Alchemical Tarot. All right, so are we ready? Because I'm looking at my percentages on my computer. I'm down to 27%, so I don't want this to go out. All right, so what do we most need to know for this weekend? And also this energy, if you happen to be watching the replay at any other time, I mean, I'm doing this broadcast live on December 3rd of 2021. If you happen to be watching the replay because you were interested and, I don't know, called to watch this particular video of me scheduling episodes for the month of December, and it's not December 3rd, but the card is speaking to you, or the interpretation is speaking to you, go with it. That message is for you. Let me move this. All right. And for some reason, it still smells like a new deck. Still got a new deck smell, even though I've had this one for years. All right, what do we most need to know? Perfect. So it looks like we have the Six of Wands, if I am interpreting correctly. I'll hold it up in a second. I want to make sure that I'm saying the right element here. Yeah, it's Six of Fire. All right, so let me hold it up. So the Six of Fire, can you see the cardinal? So this is what the cosmic animal art looks like. And I hope you guys didn't hear the ding there. I'm going to have to shut that down. Options. Wish they hadn't sent me that. So this is the cardinal, and it is the Six of Fire. So that would be equivalent to the Six of Wands. So the invocation from the cardinal: dear spirit of the cardinal, help me see my blessings and express my gratitude for them all. I call upon you now to bring brightness into my daily life and remind me of the abundance with each breath I take. Thank you, and so it is. Are you open to receive the blessings of life? Cardinal comes with a message that there are gifts of joy all around you if you choose to look for them. Reality is what you make of it. If times have felt lean and challenging lately, bring yourself into the present moment and gaze around you. Everywhere your eyes land is something to appreciate. Cardinal wears a feathery coat of red with a black mask and of emphasis around its eyes. This corresponds to our root chakra, also represented by a red tone. The root is in charge of our energetic well-being, our ability to find nourishment from our environment, our ability to witness the gifts we are inherently blessed with. Even a breath can be a talisman of abundance. If you're reading these pages, then you have the gift of breath flowing through your lungs. Rejoice, because if not now, when? I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's 2 full pages, but I will read the Cardinal Speaks portion, some of it. Even in times of scarcity, we have our breath. So Cardinal Speaks: I bring you a message of impending joy. Are you ready to receive it? To be sure, breathe in abundance and breathe out gratitude. My bright coat of red feathers is a reminder to find grounding via the bright spots amidst life's winters. I will help groom the way for bigger blessings down the road as I remind you of the ordinary magic right in front of your eyes. I do not migrate, choosing instead to remain in my home through the cold, lean times. Can you trust that life cycles naturally fluctuate between plenty and not so much? Spring is around the bend. Persevere and trust that your situation will blossom. Be willing to see yourself through the tough periods and stick with your vision. Do not give up. A gift is here for you now, and more is coming. So I love that the cardinal was chosen for the Six of Fire, because the Six of Fire is a correspondent to the Six of Wands in a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Now, I could possibly grab the Six of Wands if it's immediately apparent from the Rider-Waite-Smith. But the Six of Wands is typically what is called the Lord of Victory in traditional interpretation of the Six of Wands, because you see a man astride a horse. There's a garland in his hair or on the wand that he's holding up. It's almost like this parade of victors that is depicted on the Six of Wands. So for the cardinal to be chosen as the corresponding card for the Six of Wands energy, I just think it's very fitting. And it's something that I haven't really experienced with a lot of other decks that have woven animals into the tarot deck. So I'm not going to be able to find it right now, of course. It's probably going to be the very last card that I put my hand on because that's just the way it is when I try and look for a specific card very quickly. But I mean, you can see why that would be an energetic match to the Lord of Victory from the Six of Wands. The cardinal is this message of abundance, of prosperity, but also being aware that there are cycles of feast and famine. There are cycles of prosperity and also not so much, and scarcity. And all of this is natural. So, but now is a time for prosperity and gratitude just for the little things. Because if you don't have gratitude and abundance and prosperity for the small things like breath in your lungs, then you're not going to have it or recognize it for when the bigger things happen, when success on your terms as you define them happens. Because that's another thing that I say to my clients when the Six of Wands comes up is success is how you define it. So if you can't define success, how will you know when you've reached it? Same can be said for the Six of Wands or the Six of Fire, the cardinal. So Katie says, I was seeing Christmas colors. We have Christmas bells flower in Australia. That is exactly those colors. Very cool. Well, there you go. There's your equivalent bird to go with the Christmas bells flower. That's so perfect, Katie. I love to hear that. Bright and cheerful to me. Bright and cheerful. He's a little bright spot. He's a little cardinal. So please keep that in mind. That is your weekend forecast for this weekend, or of course, whenever this stumbles across your feed or your eyes and you feel it's resonating with you, please take it to heart. This is a reading for you. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to remind everybody that we do these episodes most of the time Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So once again, next Friday, the 10th, I believe it is, we are doing an episode on the goddess Hecate by popular demand, and also because she's also knocking on my head saying, I will not be denied. You are talking about me this month. So that will be the episode this coming Friday, December 10th. And then on December 17th, if I'm remembering correctly, we will be talking about Yule as another episode as a part of the Sabbath series that we've been doing. So thank you very much, Katie. Have a good weekend to you as well. And once again, my name is Hilary, professional tarot reader. You can find me right here at tarotbyhilary.com. If you would like to book a personalized reading with me, I have phone and Skype and email readings available. I would love to work with you. I would love to give you a more personalized experience and reading other than, one card for you to tide you over. But that's like my favorite thing in the world, to work with people. And I actually someone just booked to start off the new year with me. They just booked, I think, an hour-long phone session with me, and it's not for this month; it's for next month to start next month and next year off with a bang. So that's always an option too. You don't have to necessarily book with me for this month. We've got time slots for next year as well. So I think my books are open for next year too. So think about it. Book a reading with me. I would love to be able to work with you. So right there. So once again, I'm Hilary, professional tarot reader, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with the most beautiful gifts, which is your own intuition. Because yes, my friend, do not argue with me. You have intuition too. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, everybody. And I will see you next time right here, same bat time, same bat channel, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday to talk about Hecate. Bye.